Hey friend, welcome back to the This Old Baker podcast. Today we're talking about something that feels new, but really isn't new at all, using beeswax to preserve food and why it's suddenly showing up everywhere again. If you've been on social media lately, you've probably seen it. People wrapping bread in beeswax cloth, covering bowls, even dipping food to seal it. And it can feel like one of those new trends that popped up overnight. But this isn't new. Not even close. This is one of those old methods that's been around for a long time, quietly doing its job, long before plastic wrap or zip top bags ever existed. And like a lot of old kitchen habits, it's coming back. So let's talk about why. Because whenever something old starts trending again, there's usually a reason behind it. First, let's keep this simple. Beeswax coating works by creating a barrier. It's not airtight like plastic, and it's breathable, and that's the difference. That breathable layer helps slow down moisture loss, while still allowing just enough airflow to keep food from getting trapped and soggy. So instead of sealing food in completely, it protects it. And that works really well for things like bread, cheese, produce, things that don't always do well when they're locked into plastic. Now, here's where the resurgence part comes in. People are starting to question how they store food. They're noticing that plastic wrap doesn't always keep things fresh the way they expect. They're looking for ways to cut back on waste. And they're paying more attention to what they're using in their kitchens overall. So naturally, older methods start to come back into the conversation because they worked and they still work. But let's be clear about something. Just because something is trending again doesn't mean it's useful for everything. Beeswax wrapping is useful, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's not meant for raw meat. It's not meant for everything in your fridge. And it's definitely not meant to replace every modern tool you already use. It's just another option. And that's really the best way to look at it. Not as a rule, not as something you have to switch to, but as something you can use when it makes sense. Because that's how most traditional methods work. They're practical. They solve specific problems. They don't try to do everything. Now, something else that's interesting about this trend is how it connects back to something bigger. People want to feel more in control of their food. They want to understand what they're using. They want things that feel simple and a little more grounded. And beeswax fits into that. It's basic. It's recognizable. It doesn't feel complicated. And that matters. Because a lot of modern kitchen products feel like they're doing too much. Too many layers, too many chemicals, too many things you don't really think about until you start paying attention. So when something like beeswax wrapping comes back around, it feels like a reset, a way to go back to something simpler. Now, here's the part where we keep it realistic. Just because something is simple doesn't mean it's always more convenient. Plastic wrap is fast, it's easy, it's everywhere. Beeswax wraps take a little more thought. You have to use them correctly. You have to clean them. You have to store them. So this isn't about replacing convenience completely. It's about balance. Using modern tools when they make sense, and using older methods when they work better. That's the sweet spot. And honestly, that's where most good kitchen habits land. Not all one way or the other, just practical. Another reason you're seeing this come back is because people are sharing it more. What used to be passed down quietly is now being filmed, posted, and explained. So something that might have been normal in one household suddenly looks new to everyone else. And that's how a lot of these trends start. They're not new. They're just visible now. And once people see them, they start trying them. Some stick, some don't. But the ones that keep working tend to hang around. And beeswax wrapping has been around long enough to prove it has a place. Not everywhere, but somewhere. So if you're seeing it pop up more and wondering if it's worth trying, the answer is simple. Buy it. Try it where it makes sense. Use it for bread. Use it for covering bowls. Use it for things that benefit from a breathable wrap. And skip it where it doesn't. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to replace everything overnight. You just add it to your kitchen and use it when it works. And that's really the takeaway here. Not everything that resurfaces is hype. Some things come back because they were useful to begin with. And when you understand how and when to use them, they can still be useful now, just in a different way. So next time you see beeswax wrapping pop up in your feed, you'll know it's not new. It's just making another round. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And I'll see you in the next one.